On this episode of Racing on the Job, see what it takes to keep pit crew members and drivers operating at top speed. Explore the human performance side of the sport with our physical therapist as she helps team members prevent injury and win races.
My name's Jena. I'm a physical therapist here at JGR. I've been here for about 4 years. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a licensed massage therapist, a certified strength and conditioning specialist, a personal trainer, and I went to school for exercise science. People may not realize, but in order to get the car on the track, it takes athletes. So it's not just the driver, it's not just the engine. These guys are real athletes.
Pit crew is very much like a special teams. The offense is out there playing for however many minutes as the defense is, and then all of a sudden, punt team, kickoff team, kick return team, here you come, and here comes in the special units. And there's really no room for error. When they're on the field, the last thing you want to do is lose a ball game because of special teams.
If they don't get around that race car and change those tires fast, that's 1 or 2 or 5 positions that we'll lose on the track. The drivers too, if they're not prepared, if they get in a car accident, their injuries could be worse because their body is not strong enough to tolerate that crash. So I work with the drivers, we do training sessions, I work with the pit crew guys, we do stuff outside, we actually do yoga as well. I work the recovery side of it and the performance side, so I make sure they get a little bit of everything and make sure that their bodies are performing and getting what they need to perform at their best.
The main focus of a PT in NASCAR is to get a guy ready for the following week, because ready or not, here it comes. I mean, it's non-stop, right? We're 38 weekends a year, and we're February to November. We don't have a lot of backups, so we have no room for injury.
I wanted to become a physical therapist because I like helping people help themselves. So I see potential in people that they don't see in themselves, and I use it to motivate them and keep them healthy, and I like to just make people better. So these are some of the tools that I use for dry needling. Different parts of the body require different needle sizes. So we have some of the smaller needles, and we have one of the longer needles here. So you see the difference between dry needling and acupuncture is the acupuncture actually goes into the skin and it stays superficial, but I go all the way to the bone with some of these techniques, and it's such an effective technique, and it's fast. So with these guys, I have to get them better fast. Over here we have the jumper cables. I joke all the time because the guys work on cars all the time, but I work on them and I use jumper cables as well. So I can turn muscles on, I can turn muscles off. If a muscle is spasmed and it's working too hard, I can fatigue it and make it shut off. You gotta lay all the way down. You're good. So in order to expose the tissue that I want to work with, I have to drape them. You're not gonna use your phone? You're gonna be brave? Nothing's happening.
I'm in my phone because you guys know your brain is very strong. So when I started watching all these needles and I start to think about what she's doing to myself, I start to get a little dizzy and possibly pass out. So I use my phone as distraction to try to put my mind in something else.
So with Daniel here, he cycles a lot and he works out in his free time too. So he's, you know, with his body, he's strenuous on his body. So recovery is very important for him. So with the needles, what I'm doing is he cycles a lot, so he's extending his knee a ton and he's using his quad and he's overusing his quad, and he also uses his quad during the race. So with the needles, we can accelerate his recovery and actually get him better faster. So I tested him before to see where his range of motion is limited, and then that's how I decide where I'm going to put the needles. Because people work out a lot, but they forget that with working out comes recovery. Some of these guys are very dramatic. With the needles, basically I'm creating an inflammatory response in the body, and it's localized. So instead of taking a pill that's systemic and it's going throughout your entire body, with the needles I can go straight to the problem and it initiates the body's healing response. And so it'll help him reduce some of his pain, and it'll help start the flow of oxygen and blood to the area so that it can start to heal. Because every time you work out, you're actually breaking down tissue and it has to recover. You need some Coke? You want a straw? So if Daniel allows me, I'm going to hook up my jumper cables. You ready?
Yeah.
So this will actually make the muscle move, so don't be alarmed. And so with the frequency that I'm using with the jumper cables, it's going to help turn off his quads, so it's going to fatigue out his quads because they overuse, and then we'll do some corrective exercise afterwards. So one thing doesn't necessarily always work for everybody, so I like to have a bunch of different tools, and not everyone can tolerate needles like Daniel can, so I have to have other things available. So with cupping and with the massage and soft tissue work and any type of Graston technique, it's doing the same thing as the needling, so just initiating that inflammatory response and trying to get the body to heal itself. So you can see by the amount of needles that I use that I needle a lot. Is it good? Yeah, all done. See, nothing to it. You know, things that normal physical therapists wouldn't be involved in, I can be involved in, and I feel privileged being able to, you know, share these things and educate these guys in these ways beyond what a normal physical therapist would do for their patient. We're a team here at JGR, and I do what I can to help the team be number one. I'm Jena Gatses, and I'm racing on the job.